Hello, everyone. Welcome to another exciting webinar by Evergreen Digital Tech Solution. If you're joining us for the first time, we would like you to hit the subscribe button and check out our previous sections. If you're in need of beginners training in data analysis or you want to learn Excel, Power BI, or SQL, quickly register on our website. If you're someone who is finding it hard to refine their skills and become job ready, you lack work experience, you want to fine tune your soft skill, then we have an internship and job readiness program for you. So do well to register. Our trainings and internship run on a monthly basis and it's all held virtually. So you're free to join at any time from anywhere. Today, we're bringing another portfolio worthy project to you. Our facilitator was awarded the Michael Christiana Community Leadership Award at the just concluded Tableau conference. She also has one of her dashboard was awarded the visualization of the day by Tableau. This means it was displayed by Tableau worldwide. So our speaker, our facilitator, Omekende, is going to be teaching us how she created her web traffic executive dashboard. So I'm going to welcome our facilitator now,
Hello,
Omekende.
everyone. Good evening. Thank you so much for that introduction. Like she said, my name is Omokende Adeji, and I'm a Tableau developer. I love Tableau and everything about Tableau. I'm happy to have everyone here, and I believe that we are going to have a smooth ride. Welcome to class. Okay, so I think I can share my screen now. Okay. All right, amazing. I believe everyone can see my screen. And the first thing I would like to do is I like to water people's appetite. Okay, I believe everyone have seen my face. So at this point, I'm going to turn off my camera so we can all focus on what we are learning. So I'm turning off my camera. Right. So at this point, I like to start by whetting people's appetite, like walk you through what we want to work on. And this is what we want to work on. We want to work on this web traffic dashboard. And this web traffic dashboard looks at year over year performance. Down here, you would see the use case, and when you click on it, you would see the questions that you're trying to answer. You would see that the audience is mainly executive, and the focus is the state of the business and YOY performance. YOY is the year over year performance. An example is how is this particular metric behaving in 2022 or in December 2022 are how are our business metrics performing year over year? Are we, how are we trending monthly? What devices are having the highest views, conversions, and stuff like that? And they would also want to know if it's possible to see key metrics across different dimensions. I coming to my Tableau Public homepage, I believe most persons know how to use or know how to come to the homepage. But for those people who have not even used Tableau before and will be wondering, oh, how can I even download Tableau? Simply come to Google and just type Tableau Public. It's very easy. Tableau Public download. The first one you see, which is this one, that's the first result. That's what you're going to open. And then when it opens up, you can click here to go to Tableau Public. I think there's a short code which is a tableau.public.com, something like that. I can't seem to remember it at this point, but when you go to public, you'll be able to download it. So while this is trying to load, just to save time, I'm going to come over here to open the data set we are going to be working with. Okay. So we're going to be working with this web traffic data set, and this is what we have. We have country, we have device category, we have key actions. These key actions are the things that people are doing on the website. When you log on to a website, what do you do on the website? Are you making purchases? Are you signing up? Are you filling up the contact form? That's what the key actions here is trying to tell us. Then we have page parts. What page part are you on? For example, this person purchased something on the home page part, and this is an organic search. This person came from social media. This person was referred. So that's how you know. That's like, these are like the breakdown of what you would see on this particular field. And these fields here are our dimensions. And when we say dimensions, it means that these fields are our qualitative fields. Then from this point down to this point, we have numerical figures, and these are our measures. So in Tableau, they are called dimensions and measures. These measures are our quantitative fields. So just the way it sounds, quantitative fields for numerical values, qualitative fields for dimensions, right? So this is the data set we are going to be working with. Let me see if this guy has opened up. Unfortunately, this guy has not. So this is it. Yes, public.tableau.com. So I'm going to try to hold my breath for a minute to see if it's going to open. Okay, I'm going to come back because I'm trying to save time. While it is trying to open up, let's go ahead to check other things. So I believe that most of us will have access to this particular folder, and in that folder you will get this data set. I've also created a Word document that contains the symbol we'll be using throughout this class. So the first is the custom indicator, and this custom indicator helps us to know when the metric is going up or coming down, growth or decline, and this is when there is nothing at all. So this is the metric symbol we're going to be using, and we're going to be using this icon for the legend. All of these symbols were gotten from Word, and if you have access to this document, you will be able to see how I got the symbols. I attached these images for easy access. Okay, let's come back. My guy is not ready. Okay, so let's come here to Tableau. But then once you come to public.tableau.com, you would see something like create. When you click the drop down, you would see download, and it's that easy. Tableau is one of the easiest softwares to install. Once you download and you click the enter to install, it just installs for you. It gives you maybe little prompts. All you need to do is follow the prompts, and you have Tableau sitting pretty on your desktop. So this is the Tableau Public, which is the free version, and I want to bring in my data set. I'm going to come here to file and come to new, because I want to open a new workbook. I'm keeping this workbook because this is where we are going to be looking at what we want to try to recreate. Now another workbook is opening up, and this is it. It has finally opened up. Now we need to connect to our data set. To connect to your data set, you need to come here to file. So most people like to connect via coming here to connect to data, and you have these options. But I like to tell my students to come to file and click open. And the reason is because when I started learning Tableau, it took me 3 days to open a CSV file. And that's because I did not know that CSV is also the same thing as text. So to save yourself that stress, you can just click on open, and open ensures that you're able to connect to all the files available in Tableau Public. So you don't even need to select, oh, it's assets I want to connect to, oh, it's CSV, oh, it's text. Once you click on open, it ensures that you can connect to all the files that is available in Tableau Public. So now I'm going to navigate to the folder, and I'm going to connect to this web traffic data set, which is a CSV file, and Tableau is going to bring us here to the data source pane. Now, because we have only one particular worksheet, Tableau has intuitively brought this into the data source pane for us. But let's imagine that we have like so much. This is what you're going to see. So I'm doing this for people who would see something like this and they'll be like, oh, mine did not come inside. When you see this, you would see that Tableau is already prompting you to drag your tables here to create a data model. And this is one of the beautiful things about Tableau. Tableau is very intuitive, and Tableau acts as though it can feel your pain. So it walks you through most of the processes. Now, this is me here just dragging and dropping, which you're going to be doing a lot using Tableau. Tableau is all about dragging and dropping. So we've dragged that into the view, and now we can preview the data set. This is it here, exactly how we saw it in Excel. So I can close this, and now we have all of this here. Now, notice that Tableau has also intuitively selected the data types for me. When you see the hash symbol, you know that this is a numeric field. You can see number, and it's telling me this is O, an whole number. I have number, decimal, date and time, date, string, boolean, and even geographical rows. So these other guys are strings because they are qualitative values. So qualitative values, of course, are strings. So they are strings, and Tableau already intuitively selected string as the data type. Now look at this. This is a date time, and Tableau has also intuitively selected date time. Now, the beautiful thing about this is I can decide to click this and say, oh, I don't want it to be a string. I want it to be Boolean. And it's going to change it for me. Of course, that's a wrong data type. But I'm going to come back here to just change it back to string. This is showing that it is very easy to change your data type this way in Tableau. And for this guy, you're going to see this globe symbol. And this globe symbol is trying to tell you that this is a geographical data. I mean, country is a geographical data. So now we've looked at the data set, and we've looked at how Tableau has also intuitively selected the data type for each of the fields. Now let's go into our worksheet. You can see our Tableau is also prompting you at this point, go to worksheets. You can see that, very, very beautiful. So now let's click on sheet 1, and we are here on the worksheet pane. Over here on this plain canvas is your view pane, and whatever you're going to be doing in Tableau would appear on this view pane. Notice that we have rows and we have columns. These are columns shelf, rows shelf. Whatever you place on it, would start to give you something. So I'm just going to give you an example. For example, when I put country on rows, on columns rather, I have this, and when I put maybe bounce rate on rows, I have this. You can see that Tableau intuitively created a bar chart for me. Beyond this, I can come to my show me tab and say, oh, I don't want a bar chart. Maybe I want a tree map. Over here, Tableau is already intuitively telling me the different kind of charts I can create with these particular fields on the view. But it's saying I recommend a map, but I'm saying no, I want a bar chart. I can even say I want a tree map, and it's going to create a tree map for me. I can say I want a bubble chart, and it's going to create a bubble chart for me. I want a pie chart, and I have my pie chart sitting pretty. So this is one of the functionality in Tableau. The show me button, very good for beginners who don't really know what charts should go for what. Tableau show me tab would help you with that. So now we have our fields here, and it's time to start creating. I'm going to be switching between these two views a lot. So this is what we want to create. And we have different types of charts here. These ones at the top are called KPIs, that is key performance indicators. And the one down here, they're just like our regular bar charts. Maybe this is like a dual axis chart, when you have two charts in one, right? This is a donut chart, and this is also a bar chart. Two different bar charts, bar in bar, right? This is a bar in bar, but one is bigger than the other. Now let's look at this carefully. We want a scenario whereby this dashboard is fully interactive. And what do I mean by fully interactive? When I come here to click on 2021, I want everything on the view to change to 2021. When I pick April, I want it to change to April. You can see that this just changed to April. Now, how can we get this done? We can get this done using parameters in Tableau. So we're going to be exploring parameters a lot in this visualization. So I'm going to come here to this drop down, and I'm going to click on create a parameter. So this is my parameter here. I'm going to say that I want to create a month parameter. Okay, so let's come here and let me call this month. Okay, then I'm going to call this maybe a string. Then I'm going to say I want it to be a list, because of course I want to see my list of months. So now I'm going to come here now to say I want this to be January, and I would have to keep typing it that way. But I want to save myself some stress. Like, this is just like, an easy way out. I'm going to come here to say I want this to be uh one. Okay, so let's just do this. 1, 2, 3. Okay, then I can hold this down, of course, basic Excel, stop at 12. Then I can come here to do the same thing for January, February. Okay, then I can hold the two and drag down, so I have December. I'm going to copy these two guys this way, Control C. Then I'm going to come back here. So you'll notice that over here I used 1, 2, 3, 4 up to 12. So because I used 1, 2, 3, 4 and I'm using a string here, it will not work. So I'm going to come here to change this to an integer, so it will allow me to use 1, 2, 3 on the values side. Now I'm going to come here to my add values from, and I'm going to click on paste from clipboard. Now I have my values over here. What this simply means is when I click on one, I'm going to be seeing January. I mean, people would see January, but what is underneath it is the value 1. So I'm going to click on OK, and I have my parameter here. You'll notice that Tableau created a new shelf for parameters. So I have my month parameter here. I'm also going to create a parameter for year, and I'm going to call this year parameter. So for this year parameter, of course, it should be an integer. So I can say that I want this to be 2019, 2020, 2021, 2022. I'm going to come back here to check where the year ends. Okay, ends as 2023. I'm also going to add 2023 here. Now, when we look at this, we'll notice that you're having the comma after 2. And when you write your date, you shouldn't be having 2,019. To combat this, I'm going to come here to my display format, and I'm going to come to number, right? I can just come here to number custom and untick include thousands separator. When I do that, I'm also going to reduce my decimal place to 0. Now my decimal place is 0, and I've removed the comma separator, and I have it displaying as a year should be displayed. So now I'm going to click on OK, and this is what I have. I think we have one more parameter to create, which is the choose metrics. Now, these metrics are our measures. We want a scenario whereby for these charts down here, when I come here to click on new users, for example, I want to be seeing values for new users. So that's the reason why we are creating this metric parameter. And you would also notice that the measures are standalone, like they have their own fields. So we need to combine them in such a way that we can toggle between one field to another in a drop down. Of course, I'm going to come here to create a parameter also, and I'm going to call this metric parameter. So I'm going to call this metric parameter. Now, for this metric parameter, I'm going to come here for my easy routes. I'm just going to copy the headers, come back to this my sheet, and I'm going to paste. Then I'm going to come here to transpose it, and I have it this way. I wouldn't want my average session duration to be showing as an abbreviation, so I'm just going to do average. Okay, so this is what we have. Now I'm going to highlight everything. By now, this trick should be familiar. Then I'll come here. This time around, it will be a string, of course, it will be a string. So, and it's also going to be a list. Then I'm going to come here to add values from and paste from clipboard. Now I have all of this sitting pretty. So we have just created our parameter. The next thing we would like to create now would be, we would want to create this chart. Like, let's move into creating these charts. And how can we make that happen? First and foremost, I like to group my fields so it's easy for me to know where I'm picking from. So I'm going to come to this drop down and I'm going to say I'm grouping by folders. What does grouping by folders allow me to do? It allows me to group the fields by folders. So I can click on country, hold down my control key, and click on all the qualitative values, all the qualitative fields apart from date. So click the drop down, come to folders, create folder, and I'm going to say one dot dimension. So these are my dimensions. Okay. Then I'm going to do the same for all my measures. Okay, so let's get that. This time around, I'm holding down my shift key because I want to select everything at the same time. Then I'm going to come here to folders, create folders, and this will be two. I'm numbering it so it just comes the way I want it to come. Okay, so this is two measure. Now I have dates. Now you'll be wondering, why am I keeping dates in one field? Because I'm still going to create several dates. So I'm just going to call these dates. Okay, I'm going to say 3 dot date. So we have it here. Now we have our month parameter. I can bring in dates this way and bring it into Tableau. You notice that we have a plus sign here. This is the button for drill down. Is an hierarchy field. Like Tableau automatically converts your dates into hierarchy. So this is year of date, and I can drill down to see quarter of date. I can drill down to see month of date. Now we have these parameters here. We have months and we have year. I'm going to take out all of these guys and I'm going to bring in a particular measure. I'm going to say key actions for example, and I'm going to bring in new users. So the sum of new users. This is the total sum of new users we have from the data set from 2019 up until 2023. But now I want to see the new users in only the year 2019. I already have my parameter created. I'm going to come here now to show parameter. I'm going to switch it to 2021. Nothing is changing. Nothing is changing because the parameter would not work unless you connect it to something. I think it was Prishan that gave this definition of parameter. He compared parameters to your TV remote. Your remote will not change any channel unless you add a battery to it. So how do we add batteries to our remote, which is the parameter? You can add your battery to the remote, which is our parameter, by either using the parameter in the calculated field or somewhere within the filters shelf. We are going to be using it within the calculated field. And so this brings me to coming here to create a calculated field. I'm going to click on create calculated field and I'm going to call this year. So what I'm trying to do now is I want to pull year from my dates. So I can just have a standalone year. I have this year. And another beautiful thing about Tableau is, just in case you've forgotten, oh, I need to pull here. What do I need to do? Click this drop down. You know it's date, so it just gives you things exclusive to date. Now, when you click on year, you're going to see the explanation of what the year function does and an example. You can see how Tableau is making lives very easy. So now let's pull year. I'm going to drag in dates and I'm going to close it up. And what this means is I'm going to be getting only the date. Kenny, how are you sure that you're getting only the dates? Okay, only the year, for example. I'm going to drag this in using the right side of my mouse and I'm going to click on just year. Now you would see that I have this here this way. I'm going to make this discrete. Of course, I'm forcing it into a qualitative field. Now you can see that I have 2019 up until 2023, but I cannot drill down. I can't drill down because this is no longer a date field. It is now showing as just the year. All right, now that we have done this, we are going to replicate this same thing for the month. But before we do that, I'm going to carry this year and I'm going to drag it into the date folder. So now let me come here to create a calculated field. I'm going to call this month. I'm just showing you different ways to create a calculated field. This is like the best way to create a calculated field if you want to use that particular field in your calculated field. But shortcut, when I create it this way, it still goes into the folder, so I don't need to drag it in. Now I'm going to come in with the month function, and of course the month function would call out the month as an integer. Now I want you to take note of the fact that it's calling it as an integer. Remember that when we created the month parameter, I had to place it on integer. So what this means is, because this is an integer, I would be able to equate them to one another. I can't equate a string to an integer. I have to equate an integer to an integer. So for this, I'm going to bring in my date, and I have month of dates. What this means is it's going to bring in month for me in numerical numbers, right? When I bring in months alone, just like this, I'm going to force this month to be discrete. And so I have 1, 2, 3, 4 up until 12. Someone might be asking me, how are you forcing it to discrete? What's the difference between discrete and continuous? So exactly the way it is for your data types, right? Discrete, distinct values, right? When you want it to be distinct. When it's continuous, you want it to form unbroken O. So when I make it discrete, it gives me something like this in form of an header. When I make it continuous, it gives me in form of an axis, meaning it's trying to create an axis for me. So I'm doing all of this to just make you see the differences. Now we've created month and we've created year. Remember that we said we want to see the month, the year of new users alone. So I have this year, and I'm going to come to the year field to create another calculated field. This way, I'm going to say that this is selected year. So what I want right now is I want this here to be equal to the year parameter. What it means is if I pick 2022 on the year parameter, check my data set to confirm if I have the year 2022. If I do, return the output for me. So this is more like a Boolean calculation. Notice that we are having a T/F, which means this would result in either a true or false scenario. One thing you should also note is whenever you see a field in Tableau with an equal to sign in front of the icons, know that you have a calculated field. You're looking at a calculated field. So what am I going to do now? I'm going to carry this selected field and I'm going to place it on color. Placing it on color, okay, placing it on color. Now notice the colors that are orange. Those colors that are orange in color are true, which means they are for 2022. Now when I come here to change it to 2019, you can see that the orange colors are now on 2019. So how can I make this work in a real life scenario? Like if I really wanted to see it this way, I can bring selected year into my filters shelf and click through. Of course, when you hear the word filters, you know that filters allows us to specify what we want to see on the view pane. I'm going to click through and I'm going to click OK. And now I am certain that I am only seeing values for 2019. When I click on 2022, the values are changing to match the year I just selected. Okay, so we're going to do the same thing for month. I'm going to come here to not edit, create month. So let's come here to create select calculated field, and this would be selected month. We're going to say month equal to month parameter, of course, and we have this. Okay, you know what this means? This means that when we select a month, it would show that particular month. Good. So we've created all these dates, and now we want to move into creating more calculated fields, right? Okay, so the next thing now we want to see is I'm going to come back here to quickly look at this. So this is showing me device category. I'm going to open a new worksheet. I'm going to just come here to call this, what do I call this? Tests. Okay, I'm not going to call this test. So I was just going to use this sheet to test. So I'm going to come here to my dimensions right now, and I'm going to bring in device category. So I have device category here, and I want a scenario whereby I can switch my metric. Okay, so when I show parameter, I can switch my metric. But now it's not working because I'm yet to add the battery to the remote. So let's do that. To add the battery to this particular remote, we're going to create a calculated field, and we are going to call this metric calc. We're going to be using the case when statement. For those who are familiar with SQL, you should be familiar with case when statements. And this case when statement, even if you don't understand what it does, come here to type when, and you would see Tableau giving you the expression, the definition, what to expect, and even an example. So now, after coming in with my case statements, I should be coming in with an expression, and the expression, of course, will be my remote, because now I want to add the battery to the remote. Then I'll be coming in with my when statement. So for this when statement now, allow me to come back here to copy this again, because I don't want to type it out. I'm trying to save time. So I'm going to say that when we click on average session duration, please note that these things are very case sensitive in Tableau, right? So when I click on average session duration, I want you to return, which means then return average session duration. So I'm going to come here to say, when I click on average session duration, I want you to return the average session duration. I'm going to repeat it for the other guys. I'm going to say when I click on bounce rate. Oh, okay. Over here, I think I need to just turn on this. Okay, when I click on bounce rate, then I want to see bounce rate. So it just follows. When I click on conversions, I want to see conversions. When I click on, really, this is so repetitive. I think I might just be copying and pasting my codes after now to save time. Okay, so when I click on new users, then I want to see new users. When I click on page views, then page views. Okay, when I click on returning users, there's even a way to do this on Excel, but we are almost done. Then returning users. What did I just type? Last but not the least, when I click on unique page views, then I want to see end, and we click OK. So we have this metric calc. Let's create a folder for it. Create folder for metric. Okay, I can close this. Now this metric folder is still not going to do anything for us yet. So to make this do something for us, I'm going to create a calculated field with it, and I'm going to call this, what do I call this? I'm going to call this okay, let me call it metric CY. Okay, metric CY. So what is CY? Current year. I'm trying to look at the current year for any metric I select. So when I click on this particular metric, Tableau is like telling you, reminding you what this metric is, right? So now I'm going to say that if selected year, of course, we know what is inside selected year. Selected year is year equal to year parameter. So if the year is equal to the year parameter and the month is equal to the month parameter, then return the metric calc end. My calculation is valid. I'm going to click on OK. So now I'm going to bring this here. I'm going to bring it to my view, place it here. And this is what I have. I'm going to come here to place it on entire view. And now I have this. Okay, so when I change it from conversions to returning users, you can see that the values are changing. I'm going to click on this show mark label here so we can see the values. You can see that the values are changing. the values are changing. When I click on all of this, the values are changing. Okay. When I also come here to say that I want to show the month parameter, just to be sure that it's also changing by month. When I put it on August, you can see that that just changed. When I place it on average session duration for August, for March, you can see that that also changed. So we have managed to connect all of these three things into this particular guy. And what this particular guy is showing us is the current year. What it means is when I change it to 2020, it will show me for 2020. Now, what we are interested in looking at is the year over year calculation. And this year over year calculation ensures that we can see what is happening in 2020 compared to what happened in 2019. So to get that done, I'm just going to duplicate this particular guy, and I'm going to click the drop down to edit. All I'm going to do here, I'm just going to change the name, the title. Then it would be, what will it be? We want to look at previous year, right? So if you want to look at previous year, it means that at this point, we shouldn't be looking at the current year. First and foremost, for this guy, the month would remain. But this year would be different, because what is year? So this is selected previous year. And so my selected previous year would be year parameter minus 1. And what is this saying? This is saying that if I pick 2022, subtract 1 from 2022, which will now be 2021, then check if it's in my data set. That is what this is doing. Then we're going to come back here to our PY, and we are going to replace the selected year with the selected previous year. You can see how I just dragged and I'm placing it on it, and Tableau is replacing it for me. Kenny, how are you sure that this thing now is working? So I'm going to bring it here, and we are going to look at it this way. So this is my simple trick for checking that these things work. And what is the trick? This is 2020. Okay, let's come here to CY. Let's place CY. Let's give CY a color so we can differentiate it good. This is 2022. Now look at the value, 2152. I'm going to change this to 2023. You can see that the previous year, which is PY, is now 2152, which means our calculation is working. Good. Now that this is done, let's create this particular sheet. But now to create this particular sheet, we need to now look at, is it growing? Is it reducing? What exactly is happening when we compare it? Like, what is the growth like? Now to do this, this is where we come to the year over year calculation, which is very simple. It is current year minus previous year divided by current year. Just in case you ever forget, you can simply come to Google and say YOY formula. It is as simple as that, right? So this is it. Current year. This also works, but this is the one I like to use most often than not. Current minus previous divided by previous. Now, when you look at this other formula, technically you know that it's correct, because when you do LCM, you know that current will divide last period, and last period divided by last period will be equal to 1. So that will be current divided by last period minus 1. So it makes this particular formula correct, but let's not go through that in case someone gets confused. Let's just look at it this way. This year minus last year divided by last year. I feel like that's like very, very easy for anybody to understand. So now we're going to create the YOY, And to create the YOY, I'm going to come here to create a calculated field, and I'm going to call this YOY. Okay, YOY. Now we have this YOY guy here, and this YOY guy would be current year as we have seen it in brackets minus previous year, okay, divided by previous year. So you notice that over here we already have sum of CY and sum of PY. That's because Tableau's default aggregation is sum. You can decide to always have it like this, or you can decide that, you know what, I want it to be statutory for my calculated field. And what do I mean by I want it to be statutory for my calculated field? You can simply just place it into this point. I mean, do something like this. Where am I? Like this, sum, this way. Okay? And also come here to do sum. Right? This is one way for you to do it. But instead of coming here to do it that way, I would rather prefer that I do it on these fields themselves. And what do I mean by that? I'm going to come here to edit, and I'm going to enclose all of this in sum. This is the same thing as what I have here. I am only dictating the aggregation to Tableau. This is very effective if I already have a particular aggregation in mind. So when I take this out, you notice that I still have the same thing, 3309, right? I'm just giving it the sum from the calculated field. So I'm wrapping everything up in sum. Really, it's the sum of whatever you output, right? So we can take this out and bring this guy back. It's still going to give us the 2152. So you can see that that's correct. And our YOY is also here sitting pretty. So I'm going to come here to put it in a folder, and this should be folder number 5. And I know you'll be wondering why I am creating so much folders, but then let's just look at how this goes. Okay, so I have my YOY now, and this is right here. Now I'm going to take out PY, and I'm going to have desktop and all my CY values. I'm going to come here to show me, and over here in show me, you'll see that my pie chart is grayed out. But I want a scenario whereby I can have my pie chart. So what can I do? Let me come here to place it on text first and come back here to show me. And this guy is still not showing me what I want. So because it's still not showing me, I'm going to have to go through the difficult route. But before going through the difficult route, let me clear this space first. Come here with my dimensions. Come here and bring in CY this way. Then let me come to show me, and my pie chart is still not showing. Okay, it means I'm going to have to go through the difficult route. Okay, so we're going to come here to pie chart. It's not like it's difficult anyway. It's not difficult, but then you would have to understand the placement. So this is it this way. And I'm trying to create a pie chart. Of course, to create this pie chart right now, it means I would have to place this on my angles. So after placing this on my angles, okay, I would have to come here now to place this on color. And when I do that, I now have my pie charts this way. So I have this big pie chart. But what I want is I want a scenario whereby I am having a pie chart for each of these guys. I mean, I want to be able to see the contributing factor. Like, for example, what is desktop contributing to the full amount we've made or to the full new users we got? So what it means is I can do something like this, click the drop down and use a quick table calculation and say I want to see percentage of total. Now, when I say I want to see the percentage of total, Tableau creates a calculation for me underneath. So you can see this is calculation that Tableau created underneath. I can simply drag this to the left, and you would see that it's showing here. I'm going to call this total, and I'm going to click the drop down and edit it. You can see that this is the formula. Normally, it is the value divided by the total value. So this total value looks at the total for a given expression. Your expression can be the sum, it can be the average, it can be anything. So this is the formula for it. Now, to be able to make this work like this, it means that This will be the actual value and this will be what is left. So if I want to see what is left, I can come here now to, okay, first let me drag this into my measure because it's a measure. Then I'm going to come here to say I want to create a calculated field, and this would be 1 minus total, of course. And when I do 1 minus total, it means if it's 30%, the other side would be 70%. So I have this looking this way. I'm going to bring 1 minus total here. Then I'm going to bring my total and I'm going to place it here this way. And what I've just done for myself is, I'm going to take this guy out, right? What I've just done for myself is I've just created a blended axis. I mean, the two axes, the two of them are sharing one particular axis. So this is it right here. I'm going to take these other guys out because they are not needed again. So I have my measure values here and I have my measure names. I'm going to bring in measure value. This is measure values here and I'm going to place it on angles this way. I can take this out. Okay, so now I place it on angles and now look at what I have. This is showing me that desktop is having 36% while the other part is having 0.3, which is correct. But I want it to come clockwise. So I'm just going to move the legends up this way and I have it looking like this. So I've just created for myself a pie chart looking like this. But we want to go further to make it a donut chart. Tableau does not have a native donut chart, so I would have to create it, using a trick. Minimum of 0, which is a placeholder. So your placeholder can be anything. I would want to liken a placeholder to when you go to class and you keep book or bag on an empty seat. And when somebody wants to come sit, you say, no, somebody is there. But the person that is there has not come. You're using your bag to hold space for the person. So that's what your placeholder is doing. Placeholders hold spaces for you. And right now, we created a blended axis before, but what I'm about to create now is a dual axis. Now, these concepts are so easy to understand. Blended axis can be likened to two people in a relationship who decided to use a two people in a relationship who are deciding to do joint accounts, right? Now, dual axis can now be compared to two people in a relationship who are saying that, please, oh, our love did not enter money. Let me hold my account, you hold your account, right? That's what dual axis does. And the difference between this is that when you have a blended axis, so I'm going to take this out just for illustration purpose. When I have a blended axis, I have just one max card. Why? Because we are sharing the same account, so we can do everything from the same account. When I undo, just to bring the minimum of 0 back, you notice that I have two different max card. That's because we are both holding our accounts, right? Everybody hold your account, make our love the sweet they go. All right, so now this is it. To create a dual axis, click the drop down and click on dual axis, and you're just created for yourself a dual axis. As a rule of law and best practice, I always advise people to synchronize their axis even if it is 0, 0. Yes, always synchronize your axis. So now this axis has been synchronized. It means that we are now on the same page. Even though we are sharing different accounts, we are on the same page. So how do we now get to the donuts chart? Because what I'm seeing is just one pie chart. Let's get that done. I'm going to come to this second guy and I'm going to take out all of these values from inside. Then I'm going to come to the drop down. I'm going to say I want this to be a circle. I'm going to come to this guy up, come to the size and increase the size. Increasing the size, you can now see that we have the donut chart coming to life. Because I know that my background will most likely be white, I'm going to make the color of my circle white, and this is what I have. So now we want people to know that, oh, this is the value, right? This is the value, but these guys are graduating towards a particular point, but this is the value as at this point. So how can I add that value inside this circle? I can add that value by simply coming to pick my total and placing it on label. So I have it looking this way. I'm going to click my drop down. I'm going to format it. I'm going to come here. I'm going to say I want this already is a percentage. So I'm going to reduce it to one decimal place and keep it that way. I'm going to come to my label, come to alignment, place it at the middle. And I feel like this is too big. So I'm just going to reduce this to 8. And I'm going to make it bold. So it looks this way. Now you notice these tiny lines and stuff like that. One of the things I like to do is I like to always format on my workbook level. Come to format, click workbook, it gives you something like this. I dislike Tableau book for no reason, right? I don't have a reason, but I don't like Tableau book. I feel like it just doesn't give me that fonty feeling. So instead of Tableau book, I'm always a Tableau medium fan. So you would always find me using Tableau medium if I'm ever using a Tableau font. Okay, so this is I'm going to take out these guys because we don't need them. Zero lines, I'm going to turn it off. When I turn it off, you notice that these dotted lines will go off. I'm about to turn it off. Now you can see that those dotted lines are off. Okay, Asial ticks, Tableau did not give us the alternative to turn it off, so let's reduce the opacity to 0. Rulers, we can turn off rulers. Okay, so this is it. You most likely these other guys will not come up, so we can just leave them that way. And now this is it, but we are still having these lines, right? One of my friends used to call them criminals. So let's just untick show headers, right? Untick show headers, and this is what we have. We don't also need this guy, so I'm going to right click and hide field labels for rows. I'm going to come back to my format and I'm going to come to my borders. Then I'm thinking I don't need the column divider, so I'm going to take off the column divider. I'm going to say none. But my row dividers are kind of useful, so I'm just going to increase the level. But I'm going to come to my pane and I'm going to reduce the intensity of the color. Something that feels like it's not there, but it is there. Now let's come here to work on this. I would want my total to be the one carrying blue, and I would want my 1 minus total. Seattle grays are my favorite shade of grays, and I always like to go with the lightest shade of Seattle grays. So this is very simple. Just pick it from here and you'll get the Seattle gray. Okay, so that's it that way. And now look at how this is looking. Isn't this pretty? All right, we are done with this. And then the next thing we're going to do is we're going to keep space again for another culprit. I'm going to just duplicate this guy, hold down my control key and drag. So I have something like this. I'm going to come here. I don't want it to be a pie. I want this one to be a text. So this is what placeholders allows you to do. They allow you to, format your view the way you want. I can have as much placeholders as I want, but let's keep it to 3 for now. So I want it to be a text. What do I want to see here? I want to see my current metric, which is this guy, and I also want to see how is it changing. So I'm going to place it here, but look at how this guy is showing. I don't want it to show this way. I want to make it look pretty. So I'm going to come here to this symbol guy and I'm going to copy this. Copy. Then I'm going to do this from the default level. Come here to default property, come here to number format, come here to custom, and I'm going to place this here. What this means is wherever I use this field, it is always going to appear this way. Isn't this looking? Now let's format the view. Let's come here to text, click the button and say we want this one to look bold, maybe 10. Notice that I opened this and now it's tablet medium and the color is also the color I chose. Okay, so for this one, which one is looking bolder? Let's just come and peep. Okay, so the upper one is looking bolder. We can make this 8. And what it means is this is 10. Let me look at it as 10. So this is what it looks like. And I feel like this works very well. To save time, I'm just going to copy this first part. But I'm going to show you how to do this one. Then I'm going to copy the remaining ones just to save time. So the beautiful thing about Tableau is that you can have dynamic titles, and I really get excited about dynamic titles. The first time I tried out dynamic titles, I was like, oh my god. So now look at this. I want to change the title and I want to change the metric and I want the title to change. How can I do that? I'm simply going to double click on the title. I'm going to come here to my insert and you would see parameters.metric. And maybe I would like to make it darker. Then I'm just going to paste this guy, by device category because we are using device category here. So this is also medium and this is 10 and this shade of black. So I'm going to click on OK and this is what I have here. Now notice When I change to returning users, this changes to returning users. Give it up for Tableau. Okay, so let's take out this. We don't need it. So I'm just going to untick. I think it's this was the guy that brought it back. So let's just do it here. I'm going to click this drop down and I'm going to untick show header. And this is done. Let's name this sheet device. Okay. Now that this is done, the next thing we are going to create would be this other guy here, this other guy. So let's do that. I'm wondering if I should duplicate this field or not. Okay, let's open a new field. So for that one, we have these dimensions. We want the dimensions to change. Look at this. We are changing the dimensions, right? So how can we get this to work? Of course, we can get this to work by coming here to also create a parameter. And I'm going to call this dimension parameter. This would most likely be a string and it would be a list. I want to be generous and I would list country. Should I list country? Yes, I can list country. I'll list country, I'll list key actions, page path, and source. I'm wondering if I should type it. Okay, let me just type it. I was considering going to Excel before, but let's type it. Okay, key actions. This would be page path, and this would be source. Of course, by now I believe that this would be very easy. You know what next I would do. And the next thing I'm going to do would be to create a metric calc for that one. So I'm just going to duplicate this and I'm going to come here to edit it. Instead of metric calc, I'm going to call this dimension calc. Of course, we're going to replace this with the dimension parameter. And over here, this will be country. So I'm just doing this because I don't want to repeat the when and then. Okay, so this will be country. This will be key actions. Just trying to save time. This will be page parts. Case sensitive, word sensitive, everything has to align. And this will be source. Okay. Then I can take out these other guys because they are not needed. Now let's start replacing. So when we click on country, I want to see country. When we click on key actions, I want to see key actions. When we click on page path, I want to see page path. And when we click on source, I want to see source. Now this is ready. So where did my dimension parameter go to? This is it here. When I bring it here, this way, and I show my parameter, then I bring in my CY metric this way. When I switch to page path, you can see that it's switching. Can you see that that's switching? Let me place an entire view so that you can appreciate Tableau and the beauty of parameters. So you can see that this is changing. So this is for the current year. I'm going to bring in for the previous year. And we are going to create a dual axis. So now just take a look at this. At this point, you will feel like this is 5,000 and this is I'm looking for something that is far but looks near. But these guys do not sell my story. So let me just synchronize the axis. So I'm going to synchronize the axis. It sold it a little. So I'm going to undo. Now look at how close these two are. You would think that the difference between them is not so much. But when I come here to synchronize the axis, we can now see that the difference is actually a little bit much. So we have this way. I'm going to come here to say that I want my current year to be a bar chart. And I want my previous year to also be a bar chart. But this time around, I'm going to reduce the size of the bar chart. So it's very tiny this way. Okay. Okay, so I think this is good. I'm going to remove the measure names from here. And I'm just going to place this on black. Then, since we are using blue, I'm also going to take out measure names. It's not doing anything for me. So this is blue. Then I'm going to come here to, what do I do now? I'm going to untick show header because it's not necessary. So as a rule of law, when you're creating a data visualization, you either use your axis or use data labels. As for me, I always prefer to use data labels or tooltips. So for this one, we are going to be using tooltips. Oh, I forgot to close my WhatsApp. Crap. Okay. So for this one, I'm going to be using tooltips. I'm going to edit the tooltip to make it look. What do you think we're going to use to create this? Of course, we're going to be using a placeholder, right? So I'm going to call, or we, instead of using a placeholder, I can, let me just take this out. I'm going to bring in y over y and I'm going to place it here. It's showing this way because it's a continuous field. One thing you should also know is that when you see a green pill, know that it's a continuous field. When you see a blue pill, know that it's a discrete field. So I'm going to change this to a discrete field so it's standalone. And now this is what I have. I'm going to take this out, hide. So I have something like this. When I switch to page paths, this is what I have. Notice that I did not need to come over here to start uh, saying I want to custom it to show this way again. That's because I already did it from the source. Now I'm going to come here to all and I'm going to edit my tooltip. But before doing that, I want to show you something. When you click on this, imagine that you have done this beautiful work for a client or for a stakeholder, and then they mistakenly clicked on keep only. Then they're like, oh, Kenny, I don't know what happened. This, that. I like to save myself that trouble. And how do I do that? I'm going to come here to all and I'm going to come here to my tooltip and I'm going to untick these two guys. What unticking these two guys will do for me is to make sure that that option does not exist. So now I'm safe, at least at that point. So now let's edit the tooltip, and I'm going to edit the tooltip from the central marks card. That's because I want my whatever I do here to be affected by the other guys. So I'm going to take this y over y and I'm going to just place it up here. Y and py. What I would like to have is I would like to have something like this here. And I would also like to have something like this. So for this here, I think I would come here with the year. Okay, so I can just have the year parameter. So it shows me the year. But now, what do I do to get the same thing for the previous year? Okay, so look at this is how it looks right now. We're still making progress. We're not yet there. I'm going to come here to my date field and I'm going to say that I want to create a previous year. Now, my previous year would be, I'm going to duplicate this guy, come here to edit it, and this will simply be previous year. My previous year would be the parameter I chose minus 1. Okay, and this is it here. I'm going to place this on details. I'm going to come here to color, come here to my border and click on none. So it's the border is out. Okay, good. Then I can come back here to my tooltip and I can come here to insert and I can now click on previous year. I can take out here and it's going to be looking amazing. So I'm just going to bring this down and I'm also going to bring this guy down. Let me make this one less obvious and I can simply do something like this. This is just underscore here. And then I'm going to copy this underscore. So it's this exact same thing for the one that will be down here. And I'm going to click on OK. And this is what I have now. Look at this. Amazing. Amazing. Cool. All right, let's come back here to our format and let's come to borders, row, column dividers. Do we need it? Do we need it? Do we need it? I'm really wondering if we do. Okay, I'm just going to leave it here and I'm going to take out the one for this point. Then I'm going to reduce this guy so it shows but it's not showing. Something like this. Amazing. Let's do the same thing for this one too. It shows but it's not showing. Yes. So for the title, we're going to come to the title of this one, but let's just call this dimension. And I think at this point, I would like to duplicate this. And what will duplicating it do for me? Nothing. So I'm going to clear it. The next thing we're going to do now is to create this particular sheet. And to create this particular sheet, we will need to create the trend. But we are faced with a little problem. Let me show you what the problem we are faced with is. When I bring in When I bring in dates right now and I say that I want to see my month of dates this way, then I come here to place it on a bar chart. It's only showing me 1 month. Why is it showing me 1 month? If you cast your mind back to when we created this metric calc, you would notice that it is because we added selected months. So what are we going to do at this point? We would have to create a new calculated field for our trend. So I'm going to duplicate this for CY and I'm going to come here to edit it. And I am going to say that we don't want selected months to be included, right? I'm going to call this CY trend. Click on OK. Now I'm going to replace this with what I have here. So okay, let me place it side by side so you can see the difference. Can you see the difference? This is showing just one and this is showing me everything. So I'm going to take this guy out and this is what I have. I have two nulls. I'm going to click on it, right click on it rather, and hide indicator. So it's showing me nulls because I think I picked 2023 and it ended at October. Yes. So when I pick 2020, it's going to show me everything. So let's do the same thing for the previous year. I'm just going to duplicate that, then edit it. Of course, the name for this guy would now be PY. Okay, so come here to say PY. And this time around, we'll be replacing selected year with previous year because this is the formula there. I'm going to click on OK and I'm going to bring this here. We are going to create a dual axis again. So dual axis, and I'm going to come here to synchronize the axis. Remove measure names because we don't need it. We don't need it. So this guy, I wouldn't want it to be a bar chart. I would want it to be a Gantt bar. And I'm going to make the color black also. I can come here to increase the size a little. So it's just, outside the bar and you can see it very well. Now I'm going to untick show header. So I have this. Come here to place this on entire view. And this is what we have. So I want this showing as JFM and the rest of them. So let's click the drop down. Let's format it. Come here to, I'm not sure this should be on others, but let's just try it. Okay, so that's on others. And you can see that I chose first letter and now it's showing JF up to the end. I'm going to come here to borders. At this point, we don't need the row dividers. We also do not need the column dividers, but we might need to add an axis to this. So let's come here to add axis. Okay, so this is it. You might ask, Kenny, why did you just come to columns? Because month is on columns and I want the axis to be on the columns side. So that's not showing well. So maybe something like this. Showing but not showing. I'm a fan of showing but not showing, but I think at this point I'll just go with this, and this is what I have. I'm going to right click on this guy and I'm going to format it. Come here. I think I would want to make it 8, yes, so that it's small. Now when I this is what I have. But I would want something else, right? I would not want my tooltip to show like this. I want my tooltips to show the actual month the way it is. So what am I going to do? I'm going to carry this guy and I'm going to paste it. Okay, instead of carrying this guy and pasting it there, I think I'm just going to come here to date. And I'm going to create a calculated field. So all this while, uh, I'm going to call this month letter. All this while we created months using the month function, but this time around, I want to use something called date name. And that's because I wanted to return something like April, May, June, July, and the rest of them. So what's my date part? My date part is month because I want it to be returned as month. Then, of course, my date, I don't need to signify start date. Tableau will sort out that by itself. Then I'm going to place this on details. Okay, now you can see that it's showing me fully, which is what I want. Now, let's come here to tooltip, and what do I want to do? I'm going to come here to my tooltip, and I'm going to copy this. Copy. Then I'm going to come here to my tooltip, and I'm going to control all and I'm going to paste it. Of course, never forget to untick these two guys. So instead of CY metric, I should be having CY the trend. So let's take this one out. Okay, just that space. Instead of PY, I should be having PY trend. Okay, so we can also take this out. This is just because I want the format to be the same. Now instead of dim calc, what I will be having now is my month letter, but I am suspecting my YOY. I'm not sure that my YOY will show for all the months. So let's look at it. Okay, you can see that YOY is not showing for all the months, and that's because we are using the trend. So what do we do at this point? We're going to come here to duplicate this YOY, and I'm going to edit it. This would be YOY trend. And of course, all we need to do is just replace, drag and drop. That's it. And this is it. Good. Oh my God. This is progress. Amazing, amazing progress. Okay, so let's just drop this on details. Come back to our tooltip and bring in the YOY trend. Now we can take this guy out. Okay, so now let's look at this. Previous year. Okay, we need to bring in previous year too. Let's place previous year on details. Now let's see. Okay, I would need to go in to check that to make sure that it works. Let's come here. Previous year. Let's click OK. Now previous year works. Okay, so this is it. Cool. What are we going to name this? I'm just going to come here to copy and paste it. I really do hope I used the same syntax, but just in case I did not, we'll figure it out. Okay, so there's this metric selector. You can simply get this by coming to the insert, click on, now I use metric selector. But yeah, what I used was metric parameter, so I'm just going to replace it by year parameter, which is correct. Month, I think I used month, not months. And okay, so previous year. Now, remember when I showed you these dots for the legend icon? Exactly, that's what we have. Uh, where is it? That's what we have here. So I'll make sure that this workbook gets to you in case you want to go into it to reverse engineer it. Now I'm going to click on apply because I'm a doubting Thomas, right? I just want to be sure that everything works. So now I can see that it works. Then I'm going to click on OK. When I change the year to 2022, you can see that the current year is now 2022 and this is 2021. We can take this guy out because we don't need it. But hold on, oh, where did my header go to? I can't find my header, but my header is there. So what can I do? I think I changed the color. So let's come here to format it. Yes, I changed the color. So I think this was the color I was using. Okay, my header is back. Now we want a scenario whereby we can highlight the particular field that we are looking at. So to get that done, I think I can just bring in selected months and place it on color for the CY. What this is going to do for me is it's going to give me two different fields, true or false. So I'm going to come here to say that when it is true, let it be blue, and when it is false, of course, my lightest shade of Seattle grays. Okay, and now what does this do for us? I'm going to come here to show my month parameter. When I change it to October, you can see that this now changes to October. And this means I want your eyes to be focused on October only, but you can see other parts of the equation. Now look at this. When I click on only the bar, it's only showing 2022. And when I click on the Gantt bar, it's showing 2021. But I want it to show everything. So what would I do at this point? I'm simply going to bring metric PY, place PY on details for CY, and place CY on details for PY. So when I do that, everything would now show. Amazing. Now we can call this trend. We are done creating the charts at the bottom. Now we can move into creating the KPI cards. For this one, I want you to fasten your seatbelt. I think I'm going to be doing a lot of copying and pasting just to save time. So I have this right here and I have my metric here. I'm going to come to create another calculated field, but allow me come here to copy it so that we can save time. I think no. This is it. Okay, so this is it. I am hopeful that I did that. Oh, I did not do it. Okay, I was hoping that I had all my codes assembled together there. Okay, so let's just get this done. We're going to start doing everything for each of the metric because we want to see each of the metric as standalone and they are also standalone. So this would be average session duration, ASD. I'm not going to use abbreviation, anything to save time. So I'm going to say if, of course, the same thing we were doing before. Okay, let me close this. I just want to copy anything I can copy right now. I'm going to come here to edit and I am just going to Control Alt, Control C. Okay. Then I'm going to come back to this guy to just paste it. Control O, Control V. I'm going to replace metric calc with average session duration. So what does this mean? This means that when the year we selected on our year parameter is equal to the year in our calculated field, and when the month from our parameter is equal to the month in our calculated field, show average session duration, right? I'm going to click on OK, and we are going to place this in a folder. Create folder, and this would be 6 dot what do I call this? I think I'm just going to call this KPI. 6.kpi. Okay, so now I'm going to duplicate. This is going to take some time, so let's just edit it. All we need to do anyways is just to be switching the values. I'm going to come here to replace average session duration with conversions, and I'm going to call this conversions. Okay, conversions already exists. What do I do now? Okay, cy. I'm going to add cy to the front. Okay. Okay, let's come here to do the same thing too. So I'm going to come here to rename and I'm going to add cy to the front. Okay, so let's just duplicate. Stay with me, edit, new users. I'm just going to call this NU for new users. Click on OK. Duplicate this. Come here to edit it. This would be for page views, PV for page views, CY. Okay. I'm actually looking for a very easy way out. I think I have 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, I have 1. So I duplicated it twice. I'm just going to come here to edit it. This one right here would be returning users, which is RU. And I'm going to replace this with returning users. Then I'm going to click on apply. It's now returning users. I'm going to click the drop down here. I'm going to click edit. I'm going to take out the copy, and I'm going to make these unique page views. Then I'm going to replace page views with unique page views. So this is what I have. I'm going to highlight everything. Click on the first one, hold my shift key, click on the last one, click the drop down, copy, come here, paste. Click the drop down, come to folders, create folders 7.kpipy. Okay, so it means I should add a cy to this guy. Cy. All right. Let's get this done. Okay, so let's come here. And what it means is I'm just going to be replacing them with py. So let me just copy it, Control C. Average session duration. I think everything remains apart from the fact that we have to change this from selected year to previous year. Then I can click on apply. Okay. I need selected previous year to just show here. Then I can come here to edit this one, paste previous year, apply. Okay, edit, paste, selected previous year. I didn't get that one, so I'm just going to take it out. Apply. Doing the same thing. Okay, I think I want to come with selected previous year first. Something that just takes it out from being too repetitive in my mind. Edit previous year. Come here to paste. Click on apply. And come here to edit previous year. Click here to place. Click on apply. And I'm going to click on OK. So let me call this KPI underscore ASD. I want to start with ASD. So what it means is, I'm going to close this. What it means is I am going to come here with CY. Then I'm going to come here with PY. And this is what I have at this point. So for this particular one here, I'm going to say I want to see the average. Then I'm going to click on apply. And for this one here, I'm also going to say I want to see the average. Then I'm going to click on apply. And this is what I have. Okay. I'm going to come here to show all my parameters again, just so that we can see them change. I'm going to move this to March. Can you see that the values changed? And I'm going to make this 2020. Can you see that the values changed? Okay, so now we need to see year over year. Of course, we do. We need to see year over year. And what do we do at this point? We would have to come over here to say that we want to create a y over y calculation. So I'm just going to come here to create, and I'm going to come here to calculated field. Then I'm going to say y over y underscore ASD. Like current minus previous divided by previous. Okay, so I'm going to click on OK, and I'm just going to move this one here. When I place it here, this is how it's looking. But I want a scenario whereby I can have when it is negative and when it is positive. So to achieve that, I'm going to come here to create a calculated field with this, and I'm going to say y over y underscore ASD positive. And what this means is I'm going to say if this is greater than 0, of course, if greater than 0, it's a positive value, then return this end. Okay, and I'm going to click on OK. I'm going to click the drop down, and I'm going to come here to default properties. I'm going to come to number format. I'm going to come to custom, come back here to copy this my guy. Then I'm going to paste. Okay. Now, when I bring this in here, I can see that this is a positive growth. We also need to do for negative, but before then, I'm going to come here to put this in a folder. First, I have to remove it from a folder, so I'm just going to duplicate it first before I put it back in a folder. And I'm going to do for negative. So negative is just going to be minus, of course, and when it is less than 0, I'm going to click on OK, and I'm also going to place negative here. What this means is when it is negative, I want you to show me something. Okay, I really don't know when it's negative. I'm now going to start switching. Now this is it. It is negative on in September. So you can see that it came down. Now you would ask, but the YOY can do it. Why are you splitting it? I'm splitting it because I want to add colors to it. So I'm going to come back here and I'm going to come to my label. I'm going to copy everything here because I don't want to type it out again, even though I might need to type out some because I can already see something that is not the same. Okay, so I'm just going to paste it, and average session duration is going to be there. This one, I would replace it with my ACY, right? ASDCY, because I did not use the same naming convention. And I'm also going to do the same thing with this one too. I would replace it with positive. Then I can take this one out. I just don't want to go over the formatting. Then for this one, I'm going to share this workbook with you so you can look at the formatting. uh then I'm also going to replace this. So what this means is that when it is negative, I want it to show the red color. When it is positive, I want it to show the green color. You would also notice that I'm also placing it on the same line side by side, and that means when it is positive, you would not see that space. When it is negative and it is positive, you would not see any space. So I'm also going to come here to replace this one with ASDPY. Okay, and this is Pyro year. I think we're using previous year. Yeah, so let's just use previous year. Previous year. Okay, so I'm going to click on OK. And now this is what I have. I'm going to come here to place this on entire view, and you will see that this is having a blue mark. I don't like it having blue marks. Plus, it's having two tips, and our two tips are not important at this point. So I'm going to untick all three so I don't get any two tip. But this blue thing, what can I do to take it off? I'm just going to come here to place it on shape. Then I can reduce my size to 0 and also reduce my opacity to 0. And now when I click, the blue mark is gone. I can come back here to my label, come to my alignment and align it to the left. Make sure this one is also at the middle, and this is what I have. Doing this, I can now replicate it for the other guys. So I am going to create the folders for these guys now. Let's come here to create a folder. Create folder, and this should be 8 point YOY was what? YOY was 5, I think so. 5. So let me do 5A. So it's just under YOY. YOY positive. Oh, I did equal to instead of positive. It's even supposed to be negative. Okay, so let's just rename it. No cause for alarm. Okay. Right, so it's just under YOY. I'm going to do this one also for create folder 5B YOY positive. Okay, now we have this. We're going to start recreating everything. Once we are done recreating the KPIs, we will then move to the dashboard creation. Okay, so doing it at this point first. So let's duplicate, come here to edit. This would be for conversions, and this would be CY conversions minus PY conversions divided by PY conversions, right? Then we click on OK. Okay, there we go. I'm going to do for new users before I duplicate it and start using my apply method. Okay, so this is just going to be NU, and this would be new users minus new users for the previous year, of course, divided by new users for the previous year. So where are we now? I'm going to duplicate. I've done 3. I'm just going to duplicate it 3 times. Duplicate that 2 and duplicate that 3. So I don't need to duplicate again. So let's just come over here to start getting it done. The next one now would be page views, PV, and that will be page views CY minus page views PY divided by page views PY. Then we click on apply. Where are we? This is it. Then we come here to edit. I think we should be on returning users right now. And this would be returning users CY minus returning users PY divided by returning users PY. Okay, click on apply. Last but not the least should be our page views, unique page views. Okay, so that would be unique page views CY minus unique page views PY divided by unique page views PY. Good. Okay, so now that is done. I can now close these guys. Now let's just start doing for negative. I'll do negative first before going to do the other guys. I think this time I'm feeling like just duplicating all five. Okay, so this is 1, 2, 3, 4, and this is 5. This is 5. Okay, so now let's start editing it. So this time around it's just going to be conversions. If conversions is less than 0, then conversions. Oh, I didn't get that correctly, so I'm just going to delete it. And this would be conversions negative, so I'm just going to click on apply. And the next one, edit, would be NU. I need to get it correctly. NU correctly. Okay, so this would be NU negative. Click on apply. Edit. This would be PV. Correct. And PV. So let's get this done. PV. Click on apply. 2 more to go. Amazing. I feel like starting with the one with the most copy. Okay, so here we are. And this would be RU negative, and we would just have RU, and I can click on apply. Then we have this guy. Okay, so this will be UPV negative and UPV. I know this is pretty repetitive, but I feel like because it is repetitive, it will help you to really, really understand what is going on. So I'm going to click on everything and I'm going to copy. Then I'm going to click the drop down again and I'm going to paste. And I'm going to bring it into the positive corner. So now it's here on the positive corner. I'm going to, okay, before I do that, I already have ASD, so I can delete this one. Let's start with conversion. So let's just come here to edit, right? All we need to do at this point is to replace it with the positive sign. Okay, so I'm just going to copy this so I can just Control All and paste. And over here, replace it with greater than, right? Let's do for the other guys. Edit, paste, greater than, apply. Come here to edit. Okay, I feel like changing this one first. Then paste, apply. Come here. Oops, my PC is running low. Okay, please give me a minute. I'm coming.
Okay, guys, while we wait for Omakende to come back, so if you've not subscribed to our channel, please, this is a good time to do so. As you can see, we always bring the best of the best to you here. Well handpicked projects to help you learn and upskill, whether you're a beginner or a professional. Our our tutorials here is very helpful to anybody at any stage of your career. If you notice, she's starting from the scratch, so even beginners can actually replicate this project. If you've never done any work with Tableau before, you'll be able to watch this tutorial and get it. So as always, we would like to see you replicate this project, and we're going to comment and repost. Here at Evergreen Digital Tech Solution, we learn by doing, right? We learn by doing. So practicals is very key. Omokende, are you back? Okay, so let's just give her a moment to come back. Hello, Omokende, are you back?
Yes, I'm here.
All
I'm back.
right. Okay. So I'm handing over to you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so this is for PV. Okay, I've clicked apply. And I'm going to come back here to edit the RU. And for this one, I would have to paste. Then, of course, make this one greater than. Apply. And I'm going to do the same thing for this. Edit, paste. Then make this greater than and click on OK. So the next thing to do is just to keep duplicating these guys and replacing the fields. We can close this one. We would need just these two. And this one now should be for conversions. So I'm going to put conversions CY. So all you need to do is just replace CY on CY, PY on PY, like that's all. This way. Okay. Now I'm going to come in to change this to conversions. Then I'm going to click on OK. And this is what I have. I can now rename this to conversions. So let's duplicate. And of course, CY to CY, PY to PY, like that's what you need to do.
Hey guys, it's me again. So our speaker, our facilitator is having a little challenge, and she's going to join us back very soon. She's going to be with us again very soon. So let's just give her a little time. She's going to be here very soon. So meanwhile, if you've not liked or subscribed to the channel, then you are owing us. Okay, so please do that. This is the only way you can actually appreciate what we do here, because we go above and beyond to bring these amazing facilitators to you, to show you how they've achieved, interactive great dashboards. And this definitely adds to your skill set, it definitely adds to your portfolio, and it definitely adds to your value as a data analyst. So you subscribing to our channel, it means a lot to us. Everyone that has replicated our projects, we see you, and we want to really like commend you, right? Because if you're just watching these videos and you don't replicate these projects, then I'm sorry to tell you, but you're going to be losing out on most of the value that these videos and these projects have to give. So don't do yourself a disservice by just watching this project and not replicating. And if you're here and you're finding it difficult to learn data analysis, or you're finding it difficult to upgrade your total skill set, or to start applying for jobs, you're in need of the soft skills, you're in need of work experience. Okay, she's back. So please reach out to us on our website. The link to this data set, the link to subscribe to our channel, the link to check out our website, everything is going to be available in the description box. Omokende, welcome back. Can you hear me? Hello, Omokende, can you hear me? Okay, so I think she's still having a little network challenge, which will be resolved very soon. Hello, Omokende. Hmm. Okay. So I'll have to reach out to her. Just give me a moment. Okay. So in the comment section, please tell us if this is your first time working with Tableau, or if you're conversant with Tableau. Please do tell us in the comment section. We'd like to know. So our facilitator is back. Welcome back, Omokendi. So we lost her again. Uh, if we try one more time and we're still having challenges, then this we may have a part two for this section. But hopefully we would like to have everything in one section. Okay, guys. So unfortunately, we may have a part two for this section. I'm going to attach both sections together. So definitely just going to be up here, part two to this section. And if you're watching us live, please just check the channel. You're going to see the part two. So considering this current challenge that we normally do face, we're actually looking at having these sessions pre-recorded. But we'd like to hear from you and know what you think. Should we record these sections and then upload them, or should we continue live? So we want to hear from you, our audience, to know what you prefer. So on this note, watch out for part two, guys.